What's going on, everybody? In this video, we're going to glance at what happened with CPI. It does seem to me that the data we just received gives room for the Fed to raise rates again. So we're going to talk about that briefly, and we're also going to go over Iris Energy. I'm going to talk about their last mining update, and we also have something to look forward to for Iris Energy at the end of the market today. So let's get right into this video. If you like these videos, consider hitting the like, subscribe, ring the notification bell. Definitely helps me out a lot, and let's get into it. So first off, as of this upload right now, we're looking at a relatively green day, despite what we saw for CPI. It basically came in at expectations. However, month over month, we're starting to see these increases in CPI numbers. This may just be a liquidity grab, and we're looking at some red days ahead, but I think it's kind of interesting that the market is a bit green today, especially small caps. Now, I wanted to show you this here, and this is the year over year CPI. You can see where the trend is going. We've been in a downtrend since 2022, and since July, we have been seeing CPI tick up a bit, and this reading was 3.76. The expectation was 3.6, so it's essentially right in line, but our previous was 3.2, so we did see an uptick. Now, part of the reason we saw such an increase in CPI here is because of gas prices rising. One thing I've noticed in my area is gas is now back at $5.50, guys. To me, that's insane. Not too long ago, we were down at the 480s. Now it's up just a tad under $1 now from where we were just a few months ago. But looking at CPI core, when you look at the core, which removes fuel, CPI actually slowed from 4.7 to 4.3. I think this is part of why the market is moving upwards. It sees core coming down as a good thing. While CPI is rising, core seems to be dropping. And like I said, mostly this is due to gas prices rising. We do have another piece of economic data coming up, and this is going to be tomorrow. This is actually PPI, and it's forecasted to be 1.2%. And in one of the previous readings, we actually almost saw it go deflationary. We almost saw a negative number here. It is slowly ticking back up, which I think, CPI, PPI, PCE, all these things are kind of raising the eyebrows of the Fed. They're thinking, okay, we might have to do a little more work here. But let me know in the comments below, do you think they're going to raise here in September? Do you think they're going to raise in October? Or do you think they're at the end of the rate hikes and they're just going to kind of let it ride out from here and see if we start seeing lower numbers moving forwards? Because as they've said, as I've said, the effects of these Fed rate hikes are still yet to be felt throughout the market. It definitely takes time for these things to all fall into place. So we'll see moving forwards if they're going to raise or if they think that they've done enough to continue to, have inflation trending down. I mean, when you look at this overall, it is still trending down despite the last couple of months kind of seeing an uptick. And the same can be said with PCE. We've been trending down since mid 2022, went down to an actual PCE of 3%, and now it ticked back up. Next PCE coming out is going to be the end of September, and on this side at least we don't have a forecasted expectation yet, so I'm curious if we're going to see this come in lower or higher and see where the trend goes from here. So I just wanted to quickly touch on CPI, but the main point of this video is going over Iris Energy. If I had enough time to do two separate videos, I would have, but let's look into Iris and what's going on here. And this is their last mining update that came out just a few days ago, and this is going over August. Right now, they're at a 5.4, nearly a 5.5 exahash. They mined 410 Bitcoin, which is a decrease over the last month, and we'll go over why that is in a few seconds here. But they pulled in on this month 11.5 million in mining revenue. And we have something really interesting here. The Childress site in August actually posted a negative realized energy cost, meaning they were paid for the energy in their Childress site. And they basically say here that the company was able to capitalize on heightened energy market volatility, dynamically trading Bitcoin mining profitability against electricity market pricing to drive down net electricity costs. And in the future, these guys may be more than just an energy provider / Bitcoin miner. And they say here that they're targeting next gen compute and generative AI with NVIDIA H100 GPUs. And at the end of August 29, the company announced the purchase of NVIDIA's latest generation AI GPUs. The initial purchase cost $10 million and will be delivered in the coming months, which allows the company to further assess the appropriateness of its next-gen data centers for servicing adjacent computing markets such as generative AI, and demonstrating capability to prospective customers. And I'm very curious where this is going to go. It's still very early. I still really have no idea what they're going to do with this. But they give updates about each of their certain sites. One thing I love about this stock is they have sites not just in US but also in Canada, which to me kind of gives a little bit of diversification. Instead of just having all your eggs in one basket, all your eggs in the US, they have other sites across the globe. Now in Childress, they have construction of the remaining 80 megawatts 4 20 megawatt data centers together for phase 1, which is the first 100 megawatts total, and it remains on track with mass grading civil works completed and concrete foundations for the second data center already in progress. And with that site alone, they expect to go up to 600 megawatts of total power capacity. And they gave a little update on their future development sites. They say that development works continued across additional sites in Canada, the US, and Asia Pacific, which have the potential to support an additional 1 gigawatts of aggregate capacity that can power growth beyond the company's 760 megawatts of announced capacity. So it seems to me they're going above and beyond their projections, and they are aggressively growing their hash rate, which is fantastic. And they gave a little bit of a statement of why their exahash went down, their Bitcoin mining went down from July to August. And they say the company's lower average operating hash rate and Bitcoin mined, they mined 410 versus 423 in July, these were primarily attributable to energy market trading activities at Childress. This was more than offset by $2.3 million of power sales, and was the primary driver behind the aggregate decrease in electricity costs, which was 4.3 million versus 6.6 million in July. And you'll see here on this financial section, we have June, July, and August. You do see that they slightly mined less than June and July, so obviously their mining revenue was slightly less. Their electricity costs, however, were quite a bit less. When you look at the electricity costs per Bitcoin, August they posted 10,500 for the electricity costs per Bitcoin, whereas July they were at 15,500, and June they were at 13,000. So that's great to see. Despite mining less Bitcoin, they actually got those Bitcoins for less of an energy cost. And we also have this little table here that kind of shows their expected capacity. They're expecting to get to 9.1 exahash with an additional 3.5 exahash coming online in early 2024, and this is currently under construction. Now let me know what you guys think about Iris Energy's recent mining update. I think despite them mining less Bitcoin compared to the previous months, it is nice to see that the cost of that Bitcoin mined is considerably less. I wanted to quickly add that their earnings is coming out here, and it's going to be after hours, so you might be watching this and they might already have came out with earnings, but I will be covering it in a future video, so stick around. And while I'm extremely bullish on CleanSpark, I do have a position in Iris, and my reasoning for that is, one, Iris Energy has Bitcoin miners in other sites besides just the US. They also have other potential ways to get revenue, such as this AI, but we'll see how things go there. It's still very early. And also the money they're actually making off of their energy, their excess energy that they're making revenue off of, which essentially is allowing them to mine Bitcoin at a lower energy cost. Now, one metric that I want to show you guys, and a reason why I'm so bullish on Iris Energy as well, is when you compare CleanSpark's market cap to current hash rate, they're at like a 9.5 exahash. CleanSpark's right now nearly a $700 million company, while you have Iris Energy at about a third the market cap, but mining more than half in terms of exahash. There are a lot of other things you can look at, but just when looking at market cap to hash rate, Iris Energy definitely seems very attractive. Now I am planning to further diversify and get into yet another Bitcoin mining stock. Let me know what you think I should get into in the comments below. But I'm mainly doing this just for a little bit of added diversity, a little bit more of variety. I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. I definitely have a large enough position in CleanSpark, and I'm going to be working on adding to my Iris position over the next couple of months as we approach the halving. And I will likely be getting into another Bitcoin miner. So let me know what you think I should get into down below. Thanks as always for watching, guys. What do you think about CPI that came out, and what do you think about Iris Energy? And I'll catch you in a future video.